So I got a question. So as a business owner, a successful one at that, how do you feel about just where things are going economically, you know, worker to employer to employee relationships? How do you feel about all that?
Well, I could see there's two sides, right? So if I would say the boss side, sometimes I think, how could I say this without offending people?
Just say it, man. Just say it like what it is.
Well, I want people to understand it, and if they get offended, they're not listening. So,
okay,
you know what I mean? So sometimes when you invest substantial amount of monies, I feel like maybe the worker feels entitled to too much of the return.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then again, I feel like some owners are just too damn greedy and they don't pay enough. You know what I mean? So I think what happens was, what I would always see is the people like me who would want to help and want to do the right things would get bad raps from the people who were greedy. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you get people come after you because they have the mindset.
Because they have the perception that you're
just some greedy rich guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's probably how I feel about it.
Okay. I get that.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. I'm trying to see how this is sustainable, where, you know, we've got multiple billionaires.
Yeah.
And like, let's take Bezos, where it's like, dude, you've got, like, your wife is the richest woman in the world because she divorced you.
Yeah, just retire already.
And you have literal workers peeing in bottles because they can't take a bathroom shift.
Yeah, well, I could testify to that because I owned an Amazon company. And I could say workers pee in bottles because they don't want to stop and go to the bathroom.
Is that what it is? As I've heard.
That's what it is.
Is it?
That's exactly what
Because I've heard the warehouse conditions are like.
Their warehouses are so nice, bro.
Are they?
They're so nice. They have a panic room where you just go in there and sit down and have a quiet time. There's a room you can go in there and close the door.
Were you a DSP or the actual?
I owned a DSP.
Okay.
I bought, bro. Here's a rule. They have a rule over there where if you're tired, you have I think it's 10 hours a month where you could just walk out. So like you get to the end of your shift and you're like, I'm tired. I'm gonna leave an hour early.
So why is there?
You got 10 hours. You could do that a week.
Why is their turnover rate so high?
It's the industry one. So here's something that I did notice about people.
Okay.
So I grew up thinking one way, and I would say, like, people, for example, and this is gonna sound shitty, but I would see people like my friends and family, and they'd be struggling, and I would say, it's the man. Mm-hmm. It's the system. It's the way things are made out. Mm-hmm. And then as I became not even just a business owner, I started moving into managerial positions. Yeah. And started being around people and seeing how the industry worked and stuff. Here's an example, and this will probably sum it up. I used to manage a Little Caesars. Okay. Do you know the sign dancers in front of Little Caesars?
Yeah.
Well, those sign dancers actually increase your profit. So they increased our sales, I forget the percentage. And the owner of the store came to me and he said, hey, since we use the sign dancers, our sales have went up this much. We only had them part-time at the time. So he said, I want to put them all 40 hours a week and we'll give them a $2 raise. Okay. So I was like, nice. So the lady came in and I was like, hey, I got some great news. You're doing a great job, and we're going to give you a $2 raise, and we're going to give you 20 more hours a week. Exact words. I can't do that. They'll take away my HUD and my food stamps. Exact words. Exact words, you know. So that's like some people don't have that drive, is what I'm saying. Like some people just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? They don't give a shit, and that's when you hear like people say, "Amazon makes me pee in the bottle," or this and that. Amazon make because they don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
I think there's also the other side of where it's like, because I can attest to my own story where it's like, you know, I got laid off from a position that I had in December. Like it was kind of ruthless too. Whereas literally like 2 days before my birthday, 3 weeks before Christmas, just laid off.
That's fucked up.
And the dude, and what was super messed up about it was like literally the owner was like, okay, well, can you let me know what you like? We're gonna let you go, but we'll hold your position for spring if you want to. Can you let me know if that works for you by tomorrow?
What the?
Literally,
that's the guy I'm talking about. Though, remember I said the bad owners to give.
Yeah, and so it's like you also have the dynamic where it's like, yo, like I've been doing the work, but you literally like just left me out to dry.